It's just me. Because on Wednesdays, sometimes it's Jerry. And it's a new month. Jerry was 4 for 4 last month. 4 for 4. No problem with the internet. No problem getting on. But it's now March. It's a new month, right? Kind of. And, well, not kind of. I mean, it's freaking new month. And the streak is over with Jerry Reynolds getting on the internet. What are you supposed to do, right? All right, we are efforting to get the one and only Jerry Reynolds on the stream today. How are you? Everything going well? You can hit me up with some messages while we wait for Jerry. I do not remember the first time that came out of my mouth. It was sometime in the early 90s, but I don't remember. I really don't. I do not remember. All right. How are you? Everybody doing well? Hit me up, send me a message, and we can talk about whatever you want. Again, the Kings off until Friday. Boy, they really patted themselves in the standings as the number 3 seed. And look at Dallas. They lost again last night. Kyrie Irving missed a shot. You know, the Dallas Mavericks have been in every game with those two guys. When I mean the two guys, I'm talking about Kyrie and Luka. But they're not able to close the deal. And they keep falling back farther and farther and farther on the standings. My thoughts on last week's game, I think it's arguably the greatest regular season game ever played in the NBA. Period. I mean, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So the Kings and the Clippers coming up for you on Friday. Now, the Clippers lost last night, right? And Russell Westbrook, I don't know what's going on at the end of the game having Westbrook take that type of shot, but you got to remember the Clippers play tomorrow against the Warriors before they come to Sacramento. And when you look at the standings right now in the Western Conference, you have Sacramento at 36-25. They've got a 3.5 game lead over Phoenix and a 4.5 game lead over the 5th place Warriors, the 6th place Clippers, and a 5 game lead over 7th Dallas, and a 5.5 game lead over 8th place Minnesota. Now, the key is the top 6. The Kings are going to have to fall flat on their face. All right? They're going to have to fall flat on their face in order to not get a top 3 or 4 seed, or a top 6 for sure. All right. All right. So I've been told that Jerry is restarting his computer. I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? Unfreaking believable. Anyway, it is so awesome to have you here. And trust me, we're going to do our very best to get Jerry Reynolds on here in just a moment. All right. Yes, indeed. We do love NBA basketball, and the Kings with the Clippers, and they got it back-to-back. They play the Minnesota Timberwolves the next night. Then it's New Orleans, the Knicks, and at Phoenix. Those are the 5 games ahead coming up for your Sacramento Kings. All right. This question. Do you think Kevin Huerter running the offense when Fox is out is a smart move? I love his court vision, and it would be a way to get him in the game when his shot isn't falling. Very small increments is what I would say about that. All right. I don't see that as a solution when Fox is not on the floor. All right. Hit me up. What else you want to talk about? Oh, I cannot believe it. I'm looking at my screen and I see somebody that looks like he's from French Lick, Indiana, moving slowly, but let's see if we can hear them. The one and only Jerry Reynolds. Jerry, are you telling me that you had trouble getting on the stream again? What the heck is wrong with you, my friend?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the power we lost the internet for a little while, and I don't have
Huh?
any clue why, of course. But
Uh-huh.
I just unplugged the power and then plugged it back in, and so anyway, we're on. I don't know what
You're a
happened.
you're a technological wizard. That's what you are to be able
I
to figure that
compared to
out.
where I was 2 years ago, I am, but I don't. I mean, this stuff is way too much for me.
But hey, I got to tell you though, that new computer looks so much better than the other one. I mean, the illumination. I mean, you look. I think you look 10 years younger on this computer, Jerry.
Yeah, I wish it's true, but well, the thing about old age. I mean, I'm just surprised that it didn't take very long to get old. It just kind of just happened fast.
It happens fast, doesn't it?
Seems to.
All right, all right. We have to first of all go back to Friday night. I mean, you've thousands of games that you've been involved with in all levels of basketball. You can even go back to Vince Sims and whatever, whether the franchise was in Kansas City or Sacramento. But that 176 to 175 double overtime game, I mean, how would you rate that as where would you rate that on your list of all the games you've been involved with?
I've never, as a regular season game, I don't think I've been seen one or been involved in one that comes close. To be honest, I mean you'd have to go to huge playoff games of to the same level of excitement. But yeah, it's marvelous game. Both teams played well. I mean, the Clippers played well. I
Yes, they
mean,
did.
the shooting was just absolutely brilliant shooting, and people, oh, the defense wasn't good. Well, yeah, maybe it wasn't, but there's a couple of great defensive plays when it mattered, and that was a difference in a game. But I just thought, my gosh, every open shot seemed like it was made.
The shooting was absolutely amazing. Obviously, it would have to be with the score of 176 to 175. And I've been very critical, and you have been very critical of the defense that the Kings have played. I just think that's one of those games where both teams were red freaking hot, and there was nothing you were going to do to slow them down.
No, two teams with talent, and then style of play for the Kings. The Kings are a terrific offensive team, and
Mm-hmm.
when you can get a guy come off the bench and get 45, you
Yeah.
you're, you you got a chance to beat anybody. I've never seen that either. I mean, what Malik Monk did. I mean, obviously Fox had a marvelous game, and but Monk. I mean, 45 off the bench. I don't have any knowledge of that happening before.
The one thing though that we have to acknowledge, and somebody sent me this message yesterday, and I thought it was spot on. You remember when 70 points and a half used to be a big deal? Like, wow, now it's almost commonplace. You don't even bat an eyelash when you see a team score 70 or more points and a half.
No, and 40 and a quarter used to be a real big deal. And now
Yeah.
you see that probably about every team has a 40-point quarter now.
Hmm.
There's no doubt the offense and the league is wanted the more offense, and I think with the type rules they have and all, I mean, it all lends itself to offense, much like we've seen in the NFL. Uh, it's a different era, and offense is as an offensive player, you get all the breaks.
This is pretty funny. 70 is the new 50. That's very
Yeah.
funny. Yeah. I mean, it's not too far from the
Oh,
truth. Well, I'll tell you what the Kings have done. Again, they're playing well, so let's give them credit. But they're taking advantage of every opportunity given to them. Portland, for whatever reason, Jerry. Jerry, I know this is a tough concept for you, but you just had 9 days off for the All-Star break, and then you come out on your injury report and you list Damian Lillard and Jeremy Grant as not playing against the Kings a couple of days ago, and the reason was rest. Go figure that one out.
to me, that's the most blatant thing. excuse I've ever seen. It really is disgusting. And I mean, obviously, both those guys are key guys. And they said, obviously they had all kinds of travel problems. I understand that. But the other players are on the same plane
That's
and they
right.
played.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and for a team that says they're trying to make a run at the playoffs or play in, and then to not play main guys when they could have, it just that's bogus. Anyway, you really bush league in just about every way you look at it. I mean, and then the next game, Lillard scores 71. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
come on here. I mean, these guys they've got to start playing. I mean, we've got to get some more demands put upon them. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the travel is a non-issue. You and I have been on plenty of situations where you walk into an arena an hour before the game. The Denver game sticks out where we were on a plane for hours the day before, sat on the plane for a couple of hours the next day, waiting to get clearance to take off. Couldn't even fly into Denver, flew into Colorado Springs,
Yep.
then had the bus to Denver. That was Allen Iverson's first game. The Kings went in there and won. I don't buy the travel. Jerry, you were in an era where you flew commercial, where you dealt with, everything that a regular person dealt with at the airport and delays. I did too. It's a bunch of nonsense. The travel to me from Portland to Sacramento, even if it took a day, is a non-issue. It's not like you slept on the airplane. You went home that night and then you went back to the airport. So that to me is a non-issue.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like they're standing outside when they're, like
Right.
you said. I was talking to Whitey Gleason and the Phantom on our old-fashioned three-way
Uh-huh.
podcast, and about that exact same trip. And I said, the players, and I think even we had to kind of dress on the bus on the way up.
That's right.
And so, and the Kings did win, and John Solomons had a triple double in
Yep.
that game.
Yep.
I know fans don't want to hear that, but he did. They don't. It's true. And the kid, no, and it's Allen Iverson's first game, but I mean, they flew into Colorado. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, except the game and who won it. That was, So I don't buy any of that crap.
All right, let's get back to the Kings, though, for a moment. All right, so they're taking advantage of opportunities. I just mentioned Portland. No Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for 2 games. That's going to happen over a stretch of 82 games. The question is, what do you do with it? Because there have been many games this year where the Kings have not taken advantage of opportunities. But it just seems like they are really locked in right now, Jerry.
I agree. I mean, I think they're playing so well. It's like last night they didn't get a good bench performance,
No.
but they played well enough to win, and that's the idea, especially on the road. Any road win is a good win, and I think sometimes as fans we get spoiled and think that. But any of the elite teams will tell you. I mean, to have a better than 500 record on the road, and that the Boston's and the Bucks and the Kings and the Nuggets, I think, very few teams do. So road wins are special. And last night, as far as I'm concerned, sure, they were out without Gilgeous-Alexander and Kings Ralph Fox. That's kind of a trade-off. But Oklahoma City's got some talent and they play hard and they really do compete. So
Yep.
good 2 wins and back to back, same team. Very tough.
Yeah. All right. So I'm looking at the West right now. Kevin Durant's going to make his debut tonight. Dallas has only won 1 game when Luka and Kyrie have been on the floor together, and that was against the hapless Spurs. They lost again last night. You have the Clippers, who I'm not really sure why the ball was in Westbrook's hand at the end of the game last night, I don't get this. So you have these teams that have made moves that, as of right now, it's a small sample size, are not paying dividends. And the team that's right ahead of Sacramento, I'd be really nervous right now if I'm a member of the Grizzlies organization with the stories that I'm hearing regarding Ja Morant. We had the episode in the tunnel, in the loading dock, all right, a few weeks ago. And now there are more reports coming out about him allegedly threatening another individual or individuals at the mall. And, when I hear stories like this, Jerry, that is a real red flag. Okay. A guy like Ja Morant. And again, I don't want to stereotype, but he travels with a group of people. All right. You can call it like what Mike Bibby was called, his posse. Okay. I'm not saying that's always bad, but there are many instances where it is bad. And I don't know John Morant. I've never been around John Morant. I don't want to paint an unfair picture, but that's alarming if you're a Grizzlies fan or a member of that organization. His actions are alarming.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, there's things, and his father is so much involved. It seems like in every game.
Yeah.
He's out. Last night I was watching, and John made a play, and he had to come out and give him a high five while he's running down the floor.
Come on.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
It is absurd.
The league's got to step in there on that. And then, of course, his father got into some altercation, with Shannon Sharp, I think it was, and that kind of stuff. And so the acorn didn't fall very far from the tree there, and they need to separate the acorn from the tree. In my mind, that franchise, they better get a hold of that, because Ja's a marvelous talent, one of the elites in the league, but that thing is about to go off the rails, I think.
All right, so here's the story. All right, earlier, John Morant was accused of repeatedly punching a teenage boy in the head and threatening him with a gun last summer. That was according to Memphis police records acquired by the Washington Post. Said the alleged incident came 4 days after another incident in which Morant allegedly threatened the head of security at a Memphis mall. Both allegations are emerging about a month after several of Morant's acquaintances allegedly threatened and harassed Indiana Pacers staffers with a red laser. It says, in the incident involving the teenage boy, the 17-year-old reportedly told police that Morant, who turned 23 last August, punched him 12 or 13 times during a pickup basketball game at the point guard's house. He claimed that Morant and a friend hit him so hard it left a large knot on the side of his head, which police observed themselves. All right. And there's more and more to this story. But okay. So again, I don't know what's true and what's not true. All I know is that this is a little bit suspect. So I think the Kings right now, with 21 games left, and they again, we'll put Denver aside. They're going to be the number one seed. The unknown with Phoenix starting tonight, but there's nobody in a better position in the West right now than the Sacramento Kings other than the Denver Nuggets.
No, I agree. I mean, to me, if they keep playing like they're playing, they have a shot at the second spot.
Yeah.
They also, I don't think, can fall any further than the fifth spot, even with their difficult schedule. I mean, that's what's changed for me.
Yeah.
And that's really, I mean, obviously you'd like to see it move up more than backwards or stay the same, but still, they're proving themselves to be, an elite team, and that's the big thing. I mean, they've got a couple of star guys, and they're, the emergence of Keegan Murray, he just gets getting better and better. And then, of course, anytime you got a bench that's capable of winning the game for you, the Kings, which they do.
All right. We are going to be with you. Don't forget on Friday. Speaking of Friday, Jerry, I don't know if you are aware of this, but Ryan was solo. He did a solo flight yesterday on our first pregame show all by himself, Jerry. I mean, I wasn't there.
Wow.
Yeah, he flew by himself. Yeah, he got his pilot's license yesterday.
He put on his big boy pants and did it all by himself, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I stole the keys to the plane from Nate.
Ryan, your name is not Ryan, your name is not Grant Napier, like it says in front of you on your screen.
Ah, shoot.
No, there's only one Grant Napier. Oh, don't even go there. No.
It's okay. It's the system we use. It's actually happened to me before where I was Ryan in Sacktown. So go figure.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is a very good question. No, I'm still posting my rants on YouTube, but not every day. And the reason is not important, but yeah, you'll still see my rants on YouTube. I'll tell you, it is pretty amazing. Jerry, we don't like to brag, but I'm going to brag. We had over 30,000 viewers after the Clippers game on our platforms. So the fans are going ballistic. Think about that, Jerry. 30,000 plus for the post game.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys do such a great job, and I think Kings fans really appreciate good information, solid information, and I think you guys are doing a good job providing that. And of course, the team itself, if it's a 20-50 team, I mean, who cares,
That's right.
But
Right.
but this team not only is good, but I've said many times, and I'll say it again, it's really fun to watch.
It's a fun
I'm
team.
79 damn years old, and I get excited before
Yeah.
the game, getting ready for it to come on. I felt like I did when the Kings were back in the 2000s. It's just the same to me, man. These guys are fun.
About merch, it's going to be available very soon on my website. If you don't like that.com, the shirt is above Ryan's shoulder over there, and that will be available coming up. I'm just waiting to get approval as it relates to state tax codes and all that other stuff. So it's very, very soon. It's all set up. As soon as I get the approval from the state, which I should be getting literally any hour, then it will be up. And as soon as it does happen, we will let you know, and you can order it right on my website if you don't like that.com. All right, so Kings with their next 5-game stretch. Clippers coming up on Friday. Then they have Minnesota the next night. And so we got a back-to-back. The Clippers are playing tomorrow night. If the Kings beat the Clippers on Friday night, there's no way the Clippers are going to catch Sacramento. Just not going to happen. The Clippers really can't afford to lose too many more games if they want to climb up to where the Kings are. That is going to be a fun game. And with the Clippers guys, the fact that they're playing tomorrow, who the hell knows who they're going to have playing on Friday night? You know how the Clippers are.
Yeah, with Kawhi Leonard, I mean, I think he's scheduled to start playing all the games, but you just don't know. But boy, I mean, if I'm the Kings, I'm hoping they don't play him back to back, because that guy, I mean, who's playing better than he is right now?
Right.
I mean, just on both ends of the side of the ball. I mean, but
Maybe
yeah,
De'Aaron
the
Fox.
Clips, and they're 0-3 with
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, and I'm not blaming Russell. I think he's played pretty well, but it's still an adjustment, and that's that's kind of what the Mavericks have found out with Kyrie and Doncic, and who knows what Durant will provide for the Suns. It's not questioning his greatness, but it doesn't always go according to plan, as they speak.
Yeah, and as far as, the 0-3, the game against Sacramento was a 1-point game, so I can't really, Westbrook actually played really well in that game. So, but you are what you are, and your record is for the Kings, they're 11 games over 500. And we've talked about this, guys. You can't control what the other team's doing, who's playing, who's not playing. Again, Sacramento's had a very fortuitous week, coming out of the All-Star break. We just talked about Portland resting guys, no Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Jerry, we were just talking about this. I mean, Oklahoma City does play hard, and I give them credit, but they don't have enough firepower on the floor without Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to win. They're just not going to win without him. I mean, they're just not going to win.
No, they've got a nice bunch of fourth and fifth best players.
Yep.
It's one, but they don't have the seconds and thirds. Giddy might get there, but he's not there right now. But Gilgeous Alexander, he's in the Fox caliber. But you're right. I mean, for them to make that next step, they've got to take all those draft choices and a bunch of the guys they've got that are good young pieces that they've got more than they need, and then go take quantity and get quality.
See, dog, this is called karma, okay? You had Brian Windhorst on Monday of ESPN with a report that the Lakers really wanted to get to 6th because they wanted to play Sacramento because of their inexperience. Right after that report, it was announced that LeBron James would be out for a couple of weeks, and now AD got hurt. Did he get hurt getting out of the shower this morning, or what was the deal there? So, you talk about arrogance. The Lakers have been an under 500 team all year. They're not in the top 10. And we got a report coming from Brian Windhorst, who is extremely respected. And I believe, Brian, that the Lakers are targeting Sacramento in the playoffs. Guys, you got to make the playoffs first before you can worry about who you're going to play. And I don't see the Lakers making the playoffs. I really don't.
No, they play-in's the best chance they got, and they've got a ways to go there. But I don't see them getting in the top 8 at all, regardless of when LeBron comes back.
Karma,
yeah.
right,
Yeah. Oh, how the tables have turned. Now the Lakers need the Kings to be relevant instead of the Kings needing the Lakers to be relevant.
Good point.
So I'm loving that.
All right. Again, 21 games left. And so there are a lot of possibilities that are going to happen. But as we are now in March and we can see the finish line, it is looking like a possibility that you may have a Kings Warriors round 1 playoff series. How epic would that be for our area? It would be unbelievable.
It would be. I mean, I think we've all been hoping for that for decades, but neither team was good at the same time. And even though the Warriors have not had a great year, but they're the defending champions, and you can't be the champs if you can't defeat the champs. And yeah, that would be. And the Warriors, if they're healthy, are going to be a tough out for anybody. Just absolutely. But that would be, oh, it'd be something to watch. Really would.
We're very happy that you found us. It's outstanding. No, Jerry cannot get you tickets for a game. Jerry is not in the ticket business. Okay,
I can't get myself
not going to
tickets,
happen.
so I no reason I'd get you tickets. So
Yeah. Jerry does get a senior discount for his T-shirt. The discount is called free. That is exactly the discount that Jerry gets.
that's
Jerry
the
gets
discounts
free.
I'm always looking for, right there.
Yes. So we will make sure that it is absolutely free. We won't even ask him to pay for shipping and handling. That will be free too. That's
Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it on one of my walks here, and
Yeah. It's probably going to be either Ryan or myself driving to your house to save the money for the cost of the shipping. Okay.
Well, I know who it wouldn't be.
Well,
So
yeah.
Rhino, get ready.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, March Madness. It's now March. Jerry, are you dialed into what's going on with college basketball? I know you said you haven't been watching that much college basketball in the past. Will you start watching a lot of college basketball this month?
I've started watching some, not like I used to, but still, the only thing I can make of it is that there's no really good special team. I mean, I think you've got 30 teams that are, if they catch it right, health and luck, they could be a championship team. But there's no great team. And I watched Iowa beat Indiana at Indiana last night before the Kings game, and Indiana's a top 12, 15 team, and Iowa went in there, beat them by 20. Chris
Yep.
Murray, Keegan's twin brother,
Yeah.
20 some. He looks, I mean, really a left-handed version. If he wasn't left-handed, you'd think it's Keegan out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would I sign up for 10 and 11 the rest of the way for Sacramento? Yeah, I would. I mean, if you were 10 and 11, yeah, absolutely. That sounds pretty good. That would give you 46 wins on the year, and that would guarantee you of a top 6 seed. I think it would put you at a top 4 seed. So yeah, me personally with the schedule, yeah, I would sign up for 10 and 11 the rest of the way. Would you guys sign up for that with 21 games left for Sacramento?
Where do I
Actually,
sign?
I would. I mean,
Yep.
I think with the schedule, because you could be playing extremely well and lose some close games or have an injury in there to a key guy. Obviously, Kings have been so lucky there. So, yeah, if you can guarantee me the Kings will finish no worse than 6th, I'm on board.
All right, I'm on board with New Works Plumbing. Locally owned for over 20 years, New Works, they've got a fix for you. And remember, they're available 24/7. So if you have an emergency in the middle of the night, you can call that number on your screen or go to sackserviceplumbing.com. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Kings
I'll
off
bet you one thing, Grant.
Go ahead.
Newark's, I have emergencies at night a lot. I don't know if Newark's could fix my plumbing, though. I can tell you that. But that's another story.
That's an all-time moment on this show, by the way. That is an all-time
absolutely.
moment.
Jerry, I'm going to take a wild guess here, and I'm going to say the answer to that question is no. They would not be able to help you. Okay. All right. Oh, only on this show, only with the one and only Jerry Rounds. All right. So, Jerry, did you get your walk in today?
Not yet. No, I'm really behind. I'm probably going to get on the treadmill. I don't like the wind, so I'll get on the treadmill, watch games tonight.
Yeah, the wind is not good unless you're walking with the wind. But the problem when you walk with the wind, eventually you've got to come back against the wind. So that's the problem, Jerry.
That I never had anybody explain it to me like that. So I think I just always walked against the wind. It seemed like my whole life I've been walking against the wind.
Jerry is not a marathon runner. Jerry was a sprinter named the Caucasian Comet. Okay. I don't think Jerry, you didn't do marathons when you were in track when you were
You
in high
know,
school, did you?
I ran cross country in high
Oh,
school and college. I actually
No.
went to state in cross country. Hated
wow.
every step of it. I was just good enough to get there, and I ran cross country, get in shape for basketball, and I made the mistake of being good enough. They wanted me to, keep run on the team, so anyway, yeah, against the wind, Bob Seger, you betcha. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I did run. I wasn't a sprinter, surprisingly.
How about that?
I wasn't. I was quick, but I wasn't fast.
Yeah. Well, that can
That's
be good sometimes. So you ran
well,
cross country.
quickness. It's like John Wooden said.
Yeah.
Quickness. That's the main. You find a quickness advantage at every position if you can.
Cross
And
country from
actually, I
French
think the
Lick
Kings are
now.
doing a great job of that. By the way.
Yeah. Absolutely. Ryan, what sports did you play growing up?
Football, basketball, and track.
Wow.
And then ended up doing basketball in college. That was the one I chose.
Okay. There you have it. All right.
Yeah.
Just a
But Jerry,
couple of marvelous athletes here. That's what
yeah,
it is.
yeah. But
Napes
Jerry,
played
I actually
lacrosse
didn't. Yeah, Napes and lacrosse. I actually didn't run in track though. I was a high jumper, believe that or not.
Really? Well, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
when I came out to California and I joined a club lacrosse team right the first summer I got here. And it was a trip. And I've been playing lacrosse since really I was 5 or 6 years old. So I was again, there were a lot of players that in the California club leagues that had only been playing for a short period of time, or some were taking up the game. But anyway, there were 2 club teams in Sacramento, and the other team was called the Old Boys, and that's exactly what they were. And you can't make this up, but the goalie of the Old Boys, John Duke, was 60 years old. And I'll never forget when I saw him in goal and I came down, I played attack. I always had the ball. And I remember right at the game, we got the face off and we came down on a fast break and I got the ball at the point and I wound up and I saw him go like this with his stick. Okay. and I'm like, it kind of threw me off and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to whiz one. I'm just going to screech one right past his head. And I did. And I ended up after that, I scored 10 goals that game because every time I had the ball, he'd literally be in the goal taking like this. And I had a guy that I played attack with. His name was OB, Pat O'Brien. And he goes, Napes, I'm just going to feed you all game. I go, okay, good. And I ended up, I had 10 goals, which is really not a big accomplishment for a goalie that when every time I shot, he was like, he's like that, you know? So
Hey, Rhino, that's senior abuse.
I think that might be Grant, the episode of Seinfeld where I think it's George that takes out.
Yeah, I had a great shot. I had a great shot. I mean, I really did. I had a great shot, and I'm not. He probably had never seen a ball go that fast before in the California League. But I was like, oh, I can't do. And I literally sent it right by his ear. I was like, okay. And then after that, it was like shooting into an empty net the rest of the game. Oh my God. Yeah. So Jerry, you got to do what you got to do sometimes, you know?
Sometimes you do. Yeah, I know. You can't, if you're playing competitive sports, you're supposed to compete.
This is true.
Compete just like they do in the All-Star game. I mean, you
Absolutely.
just can't bring it any harder than that.
All right. So let's have some fun here before we go. Let's forecast this because right now Dallas can't win a game with the newly acquired Kyrie Irving. The Clippers are 0-3. Do you think, Jerry, I'll start with you first. Kevin Durant's going to make his son's debut tonight. Do you think this is going to work? Do you think this is going to be the one trade where we now, in a couple of weeks, will be talking about the Suns as the team to beat or one of the top 2 or 3 teams to beat in the league?
Yeah, I do. I think it'll work. I think, Durant, as great as he is, I think it's proven he can fit in to some degree. And certainly then they have the great leadership of Chris Paul.
Yep.
And so I think the odds are, that staying healthy, they're going to be a real handful in the West.
Ryan?
Yeah, I'm with Jerry. Durant's a chameleon. Let's just put it that way. And anytime he's around a team like this, I mean, they're not like the Warriors, but they've got the same kind of setup in Phoenix, right? They've got a couple of stars, a big man, and Durant thrives off of that environment, and he's unselfish for the most part. So he has the best chance of working out of all the deals.
Well, guys, always fun to chat with you on Wednesdays. And Jerry, it's 21 games left. Hard to believe that the Kings, if we had told you that the Kings would be 11 games over 500 at 36-25 after starting off 0-4, we would have been put in the loony bin, Jerry.
Well, you'd at least been drug tested. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
There'd been something there, but just can't give enough credit to Mike Brown and Monty McNair. I just think they're both should be coach of the year and executive of the year, in my opinion. I mean, you just couldn't ask for anything better. And going forward, they got the right rookie. They couldn't have done better there.
Right.
I just love his team.
Who do you think's been the best rookie in the league this year, Jerry?
Well, I think Banchero, you'd have to give it to him.
Right.
And he has had an impact on, even though they're not going to make the play-in or anything.
Right.
He's made them 6-7 games better. And he was probably more pro-ready just with his body. But other than him, I really would take Keegan over anybody else, including Mathurin, who I think is terrific as well. But I think, Keegan's, there's a lot of potential there, and we're starting to see more and more of it.
What do you think, Ryan? I think Banchero's going to be rookie of the year too, but I don't know who's better than if you remove him from the equation, Keegan Murray's probably right there as number 2.
Yeah, I would agree that he is a close number 2. I mean, Keegan, you have to put some weight in the fact that Keegan has played meaningful minutes in meaningful games throughout the entire season, whereas Banchero is not. But yeah, I think Keegan's a close second. And in my eyes, with what he's done with the Kings and stepped into that role, he should be 1, honestly, because the Magic aren't doing much. It's a one-man show at this point.
Jerry, before we wrap this up, do you need Ryan to call you to tell you how to log off, or do you know how to log off?
Well, there's no guarantee, but I think I can do it. But well, you guys just hurt me deep right there. But I'll get over an hour or so.
That's the other Grant Napier. That's not this one.
Yeah, not the. Oh, okay, yeah.
Well,
Grant Napier.
Ryan wanted to be Grant Napier for a day, but he's the nice version of Grant Napier. Jerry, that's what he is. Okay. Hey, Jerry, you take care. You have a good week. Okay.
I will, and look forward to watching you guys post game, especially. I love it.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you,
we
Jerry.
love you too, man. You're great, Ryan. Wow, that was a fun show. We're glad that we got Jerry all up and running on his new computer, which just need to be plugged in and out because of the power issue at his house. So we're all good. You, my friend, will be on Friday at 6:30, right? With the pregame show before the Clippers game?
7 o'clock. Because I think it's Sacramento. So yeah, 6:30 will be the start of the pregame show.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So, and then Ryan and I will be on at halftime and post game as well. All right, buddy. Make it a good rest of your Wednesday. I'll be getting ready to do the show on Listen App here in a couple of minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks, Grant.
All right. Good stuff right there. Yeah. If you're not familiar with Listen App, I do a show every day. It's kind of like a radio style show. It's very easy to download on your phone, regardless of whether you're Android or Samsung. That is going to be coming up here at the top of the hour at 4 o'clock in 20 minutes from now. So you can join us. We take phone calls. It's a lot of fun. That is over on Listen App. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate you for joining us today. And we'll talk to you soon right here on If You Don't Like That.